Yeah, this is Onetake. Onetake. This is NBA Onetake featuring yours truly, Pretty Boy Lake. It's NBA Onetake for your head, NBA Onetake for your brain. Coming to you live from Brooklyn. This is NBA Onetake, March 30th, 2026. Listen, only 2 games for me at the docket, as well as some crazy news that's coming up. All right, so the Knicks is playing the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, they did say a potential finals. I don't know about all that. But it was a game where we're seeing Jalen Brunson trying to do what he can do for the team to be able to be successful. And it wasn't happening. SGA struggled a little bit. He was able to still get 30. Jalen Williams was really special out there. He had 20, and that was just easy for him as he's acclimated and getting back to where he needs to get to. And Chet Holmgren had 16 points and 9 rebounds in the win for the Oklahoma City Thunder, 111-100 over the New York Knicks. Now, let me just tell you what I'm just hearing a lot, especially from this Knicks. I mean, I'm hearing a lot from the Knicks, man. It's more what can I say about the Knicks? Inconsistency. Got Karl Anthony Towns. He had 15 and 18. Josh Howard 15 and out, and Mikal Bridges with 15. Now, when I say inconsistencies, we're talking about mainly from most of their players, even Jalen Brunson, because it's like sometimes Brunson struggles, or if it's not clicking, he has to try to do a lot towards the end. The reason why he's the most clutch player of the year. But can this be sustainable, right? Now, some information brought to me that Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns on the court are not gelling to where it needs to be. I think Karl Anthony Towns has more energy when it comes to a guy like Jose Alvarado, who's more integral inside when he's working with Karl Anthony Towns than Jalen Brunson, I think, who's more of the guy that sets the screen, and I think he either wants Karl Anthony Towns to dive under. Well, a lot of times he either pops open for the three, which I think Jalen Brunson doesn't like to do, because then that sometimes means you're going to get trapped and then you're forcing Karl Anthony Towns to pass to him and shoot the three, which, I don't know. I don't think Jalen Brunson wants that. I think he wants Karl Anthony Towns to punish teams in the paint, give them in a bonus, and things like that. And I think him out there shooting a lot of shooting threes and things like that, I don't think Brunson prefers that. That's why a lot of times I think he would run some of the things with OG Anunoby and others instead of really Karl Anthony Towns. So that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. So there may be something there with that. We don't know. Just on the court, I mean, of course, all those guys, they get along and things like that. All right, the next game of the night was the Denver Nuggets versus the Golden State Warriors. Listen, they smashed them. Denver smashed them 116-93. Jokic, 25, 15, and 8. Jamal Murray with 20. Bruce Brown with 15. And they get a win over the Warriors. We still don't know what Steph is doing. Steph out there, he's there maybe a week or so. We don't know. And as they're at the 10th spot, and I know they won't be making the playoffs. And this is just, and I'm saying, listen, I think Steph Curry is going to play at a high level, and I think I think the championships is going to stop for him. Unless he goes to another team, which I think he's not. I think he's a Golden State Warrior for life. For life. That's why they're $1 billion. He's the main reason why they're $1 billion organization. So we'll see with that. Porzingis played good. Brandon Podziemski played well. Draymond 13 and 8. But I mean, it's not getting to what I think to where they need to be. Now, all right. There's going to be some news out there that's going to be big. It's going to be actually covered possibly by the mainstream media as well. And it's an NBA player, Jaden Ivey. Very heralded coming out of high school as well as coming out of college, being a 5th pick with Detroit Pistons. Promising career, marred by knee injuries, but him and Cade Cunningham was almost the promised backcourt of the future, but him being hurt and that it didn't happen, and he was traded from Detroit over to the Chicago Bulls, where, listen, when you go to the Bulls at this point, it's not a good place. It's just not a good place. They're not the Washington Wizards, but the Bulls are just stockpiling talent, stockpiling young people, seeing which sticks, and doing so. There's not a lot of direction when it comes to, for me, saying the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, they have young players like, the players there, and Gideon, but so he was one of them, and he didn't play in a couple games. He was hurt, and now let me tell you what happened. Now he's made a post, and he's made a couple, and he's actually talking about his religious beliefs. Him being a Christian, and someone did say that he said something similar before, but they, I think a year or so ago, gotta look it up, I don't know, like I said, it's just one take coming straight from the head, and me just, reading and understanding. I do follow him too, as well, but he was talking about LGBTQ community, talking about their partnership with the NBA, and how his beliefs in man and woman is something he just found, unrighteous, and has and letting his view about that be heard. And to be honest with you, you gotta look at the comments too. There's a lot of pro for him, but also they were saying certain things towards, bro, this is good what you're saying, and you could stand on it, but you gotta look at your own. You gotta look at the ownership of all those NBA teams, and it's partially going to be the other 2 NBA teams that they're going to get as well. So we're We're thinking about that.
Treat me like I'm crazy.
And then he made another post talking about Jordan and Steph Curry and LeBron James with those rings and not having the love for Jesus. Now, a lot of people was talking about why he's bringing religion and things. A lot of times, you have to know people is having opinions about certain things that's happening out here. And a lot of things is demonic, especially with a lot of things coming roots. And there's a lot of things that's going on. And it's like, no one's perfect. But the partnership that NBA has with the LGBTQ community is something they've always supported with the hate and things in that nature. And you know, with the WNBA, there's real support there. And being that a majority of their players are gay and lesbian, he was waived because of those comments. Was he a good player? Yes. Will he be on another team? We'll see. I think to the point that he's good that he can really help a team. But he will have to have conversations. There will have to be some kind of conversations for him to come aboard a team. And I think the way he sounds, he has a good head on his shoulders. I think when he's talking, it's not as eloquent and more polished and established when he's making his posts. I think he's just speaking from the heart and with his belief. But then I'm thinking about stuff. I'm thinking about guys like Craig Hodges. I'm thinking about those guys made a mistake. Miles Leonard. I'm thinking about Ira Newble. But also I'm thinking about Kyrie Irving. Now, when I look at that, right? I say those names. You can all look it up. Those guys came into a lot of controversy. All of them. I mean, Kyrie was possibly the only one that kept his job because he being a superstar player and the climate at the time, what it was able to, they could do certain things. The others, on the other hand, was all role players, where you can be expendable because you're holding certain beliefs, or per you said something. Well, Miles Leonard, in his case, he said something that a certain community seems unforgiving about, and he's never been back. Now, Jaden Ivey's case, when I talk about that, he could come back from this. But I don't know. You got people that really would truly choose religion over any kind of income or anything that they're receiving from any sports or any type of, high paying, not say position, but anything, if it's sports or anything else like that, over their religion or religious beliefs. Because you can see, what's the young boy's name? AJ Griffith. He left the NBA for his religious beliefs and knew that he couldn't be a part of the NBA and still become with a Christian, with his Christian values, how it will not align with his Christian values, because the way the NBA is, a lot of certain things, as well as said, there's religious beliefs, things you partner with. If it's not LGBTQ, it's the gambling, there's certain other things, the temptation of people on that's courtside, and just other things. He didn't want that, so AJ Griffith said he was going to retire, and he's rookie, he's young, and he said he'll be in the ministry and focus on his religious, focus on his ministry. So it's all up to Jaden Ivey and what he really wants to do. If he wants to pursue a career with the NBA, he can. If he wants to go overseas, he can. I think he's good enough where a team will have to have a conversation with him, and that's up to him. What he want to do.
Hello?
But we'll see. But this is NBA Onetake, so long one. It's Pretty Boy Laker, and I'm out.